You're listening to The Kelly Slusher Show with your host, Kelly Slusher.
Hey, Dawnette. Oh, hi.
How's it going?
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you.
You too.
You look different. What's been going on?
Well, let me tell you, I have been using this new lotion, and it's practically transformed my life.
Wow. What could you possibly be using?
I'm using Magic Lotion. It's extra strength. It's for dry skin. It's okay for pimples. It's greaseless. 18 fluid ounces. It moisturizes up for 12 full hours. It replenishes. It hydrates. It protects. With just one rub, my whole life changed. Everything started falling into place. And I started to clearly see what I needed to do with my life. Whereas before I felt like it was all falling apart. And now, just with one pump, it's like everything just makes so much more sense. And I just feel so much more lighthearted. Hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody. All right. Hey, thanks for coming back or starting up or pressing a button to listen to this show I like to do. So that intro is called Pump It On. And it is about, as you can probably figure out, people who, commercials, right? Oh, it's going to change your life. It's just going to be such an impact. And, the testimonials, I've never had anything so amazing. It just changed my life in such an incredible way. And it's like, there are things that are great. I'm not going to deny that. Like, things that you buy that actually improve your life. Sure, but not everything, Not everything's going to improve your life. And have you noticed that if something says quality means quality in quality. I mean, if they use that word quality, it's actually using not quality. It's like, why does that happen? Why are you allowed to use the word quality when it's not going to be quality? Quality in, what the meaning of the word is that it's like of top notch. But the quality word at the same time makes you think it's not as expensive. Isn't that weird? Weirdness. That's my mom. My mom always says weirdness. And what about, today they came in the mail, and I am now a Croc shoe wearer. And not the good looking ones, like the kind that make my feet look like freaking clown shoes. I'm short, and I don't have tiny feet. And so when I wear these kind of shoes, it's just like, oh my gosh, just surrender to the flow, self. So I got these because of this job that I'm doing, and my feet were just, you're on your feet all day. So the ones I had were for, they're for this type of thing, but they weren't doing it, man. My feet were hurting. So finally I did some research, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll buy these Crocs. So here I am. So it's the Croc of shame. I'm going to walk with my Croc of shame. But then, there's going to be, I was thinking, I had them on for a while. I'm like, what is it about Crocs that make, they remind me of Birkenstocks. And no offense to Birkenstock wearers, but quite personally, I'm not really into that hippie feel thing. That's just not my deal. It's just not me. It's just not my personality. And so, but at least they are black, and I can kind of maybe, anyway, whatever. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But at least I won't have foot pain. I'll just have the other kind of pain. like the pain inside internally, just no. Okay, thank you. I'm so thankful I have comfort shoes, and I need to be thankful. So, okay, cornflakes. Did you know that breakfast was emphasized when the whole, like in the early, I want to say, like, I can't say, okay, you don't say the date, so, because you don't know the date. It was emphasized once people started, companies catching on to, there was like a pork company, and they pushed and promoted bacon. And the bacon and eggs, that came about because people were working in the farms, and that was basically what they had. And so they'd feed their workers bacon and eggs, and it became a staple for that because it's a kind of thing that will sustain you. Like eggs and bacon will definitely sustain your energy. It's like protein. You add the bread, so you get some carbs. So it's very sustainable. And but the people who decided, and I don't know the name of the company, they started marketing their pork to the mainstream, to everybody. So it became a household thing to eat bacon and eggs where it wasn't before. And I don't even think breakfast was that emphasized of a meal. And they made it something. So it seems like that's how it kind of happens. And so I thought it was interesting that cornflakes came around and like cereal came around, because a lot of people were getting indigestion, but they still wanted to eat breakfast. And so Kellogg's jumped on that bandwagon and started producing, like came up with some recipe that wasn't meat related, because he's Seventh-day Adventist, or was, he's no longer alive. He died in 1943. But he was a Seventh-day Adventist, and he believed, and I do think it's probably true, that meat will cause you to be more sexual. Like it does something to your sexuality that you want to have sex more. So because it was immoral to eat that much meat, they're vegetarians. They're vegans. And he's invented the corn meal, like I guess somehow some cornflake, whatever's in cornflakes. And then they started selling that, and it may have been the first one, and then from that it really grew, and people got really into it. I really love cereal. I love cereal all throughout the day, though. It's not just a breakfast thing. In fact, I probably don't want to eat it for breakfast because I like to eat higher protein earlier if I have to work. Like if I'm really going to be busy that day, I'll just eat a bunch of protein in the morning. Super important. But I thought it was interesting. Oh, and so the fact that he wanted to reduce the sexual, I guess, thing happening in the United States. So his whole thing was to introduce this breakfast cereal that wasn't meat. And so there was kind of an agenda behind it. I heard that. I kind of tried to do a little more research on that, but I couldn't find that exact thing that I'm telling you. But I'm sure if I really looked, I could probably find it, because he is Seventh-day Adventist. So it had something to do with his religion. And so now everyone loves their cereal, and no one's having sex. No. That's not true. Are you in the theater? You must be in the theater. You look like you'd be in the theater. Yes, I am. I am in the theater. Can't you see? I'm sitting here with my popcorn and my soda, watching the previews. Yes, I'm in the theater. I don't mean the theater. I mean, you must be in the theater. Do you drink wine? Because I do. I like to go to the theater, and I like to talk to people who are in the theater. I really like the theater. I really like the theater. It's just what I do. So that's inspired by someone who actually asked me that question in that voice, except for it was a man. And it was someone I was working for, and he was this like one of those kind of guys that has his wine collection, and one of those, can't explain a wine. Just like one of those artsy kind of like wine guys who's like, I don't know. But anyway, he talked that way. Like he was like, "You're in the theater." And I was like, how do you respond to someone who asks you, are you in the theater? You mean, am I a thespian? Am I an actress? Do I perform upon the stage? Not really, but kind of yes. I don't go on a stage, but I guess in a way I do my sketch comedy and all that stuff. So I could see where he was coming from. And people who don't, sometimes when people meet me and they don't meet me in a way that they know what I do outside of certain things, like if I'm at a context, they don't understand, like, why are you so different? It's like, well, because I'm, I do this other thing, anyway, sometimes people just don't get it. But anyway, it was really funny. But anyway, I was in the store earlier, and sometimes you overhear the best stuff. And I was just, grabbing my half and half, and I hear this lady talking to her coworker, and she's like, and she says this, she goes, and my daughter said, I don't like to get up in the rain and have to walk the dog. I don't like it. She's like, she's always complaining about it. And the coworker's like, they all go through these phases. She'll snap out of it. And then the lady's like, she's 32. So, I thought that was really funny. She's 32, and she's like, man, I don't want to have to go walk the dog. I mean, there's several things going on in that situation. Okay. So for some reason it stopped, but there are some baby birds they're birds living, well, I think they're living on the house, but they're probably really living in the tree because I don't see them on the house anywhere, but they're so loud. And so they're going to be making a debut because there was no way to get them to not come through the microphone. And they're really, it's birds, really. Is that a horrible thing? No. I'm surprised they're really quiet right now. They may hear me talking and maybe that made them want to be quiet, but I doubt it. They're gonna be yapping up here, yapping. They're yapping. It's cute. And I'm sure it's a bunch of little baby birds and their mama's feeding them and stuff. So it's beautiful. It's springtime. It's not a bad thing. But being where I am located doing this podcast, you can hear cars going by, like some bus just drove past. Until I'm in some kind of soundproof situation, it's just going to happen this way. And like I mentioned in my previous podcast, I'm not going to pull out the really nice microphone because it will pick up until I soundproof. I think there are some mics like that you can get that I think are called condenser mics where they're like more, I think I have some of those where they don't pick up the whole room sound, but the one that I want to use would pick up the whole room sound. Would pick out, it'd be loud. So, I hear the birds. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp is the bird. Bird is the word. Have you guys ever listened to that song, Bird is the Word? Bird, 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 bird is the word. That's the original punk song. I don't even remember who sings it, but it is the craziest song. Watch the video. Bird is a word. Okay, so I wanted to go over some old Betty Crocker recipes. I think these are so good. There's so many good ones. My mom had all these. She has, I should say, all these old cookbooks, and I love looking at cookbooks and stuff. And some of the stuff that they used to eat, it's really good. I actually have a Debbie Nancy. I'll play it in the next episode. Where I do like this cheese pineapple boat little skit. I think it's super funny. But because these women back in those days, they're taking themselves really, really serious. They're going to like a dinner party, or they're going to like some holiday party, or not a holiday, or they're going to, it's just like they're having like some kind of gathering. So the things that they brought, the presentation, it's still like that now, but I think it was way more emphasized back in that day because all these women were literally housewives. And so it was really like their pride and joy, I think, besides their children. But I think like what their bakes and everything that they would make. So back in the 70s, it was all about those copper ring molds. They're copper. They actually might be different shapes. I think my mom had like the shape of a fish or the shape, like different shapes, but the classic is the ring. And so they love to put the Jell-O in there, and there's the whole aspect thing, which I can go into. The one that I found that I going to share with you guys right now is something called the carrot ring. Now, I only like carrots in carrot cake and sometimes There can be some, like, I think I had carrot soup I would eat, but I'm not a carrot fan. So this is extra pukey to me. So it is in the shape of that ring, and inside, and it's probably about 12 inches, and in the middle of the ring is all full of peas, just like as if someone had taken little teeny peas from a can and stuck it in the middle. Okay, it's very attractive. So 2 pounds carrots cooked and mashed. You got half and half. You got 3 eggs beaten. Okay, you're sticking onions and 1 package of frozen peas cooked. Then you combine the ingredients. You stick it in a well-greased 6-cup ring mold. Bake uncovered. 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, and then when it comes out, it is the most untasty thing. And the color between the orange combined with the peas, the color is just, and then as I'm looking, I found this one online because I didn't have it. I don't have the actual recipe book with me, unfortunately. It has a 5-star rating, but only from one person. So I don't know who that was. Was that Aunt Martha? Did Aunt Martha go, oh, there's that carrot ring? There it is. I was wondering where it was at. I was just looking for that recipe. And you hear those birds? Yep, it's part of the podcast now. It's Kelly Slusher and the birds. It's the Kelly Slusher Show plus the birds. How could I put that? I could write that in. It's the Kelly Slusher Show and some random birds chirping it up. Okay, so I found from this website, it's this old Betty Crocker. It's like 17 vintage recipes from the 1970s we're happy do not exist anymore. And I agree. So there is some weird stuff. They used to make a round steak and ravioli, and it's just like a pile of raviolis. And I'm not quite sure where the round steak is, but it's somewhere. It looks like a casserole. Curried fish in rice ring. There's that ring again. Gotta stick it in a ring. And it's rice mixed with peas. They love the rings and the peas. And whoa, I mean, we're talking, it looks so disgusting. Okay, egg. Here's a cheese egg bake. Total casserole with a bunch of bread on top. And there's the cheeseburger pie. Seriously? That is so barfy. Barfy. It's literally, I'm looking at a piece of pie. It looks like pie. And it just looks like it's a slice of pie. So you got a slice, looks like a pie crust. And the filling is literally cheese, is really like just a burger. And the crust is cheese with some ketchup smeared on top. Franken cheese bake. Literally a bunch of beans with just a bunch of little teeny wieners on top. Sombrero pie. Tonight we're going to go south of the border. We're going to do some sombrero pie. I think the ladies down at the clubhouse are really going to like this. Oh, here's one. Bologna biscuits with vegetables. I don't want it. I don't want to eat that. Mama, don't make me eat that. Okay. Ooh, ribbon meatloaf. Honey, we're having ribbon meatloaf tonight. Oh my gosh. Someone's going to get lucky later. Ooh, lime ribbon delight. Oh, lime ribbon. I love lime ribbon cake. It's a cake. I can't tell you what that is. Ham fruit ring. They love the ring. You gotta throw it in a ring. It looks so classy when you sit it down on the table and all your friends and family go, ooh, you did it up this time, Marguerite. That's my grandma's name. Oh man, salmon mold. It is literally like a mold. You know, it was in a mold and it's the shape of a fish and it's like some kind of fish paste. I'm glad there's lemons at least on the dish. They're showing some lemons. So broccoli cheese mold. Here we go. I almost want to make these recipes. I almost want to be I want to be invited to a party sometime, the next party I go to, and they ask you to bring something. I'm going to bust out the mold. I'm going to go to the thrift store. Oh my gosh, mold asparagus salad. This thing is like red. It looks like aspic. aspect is how you say it. It looks like tomato juice in gelatin with a bunch of asparagus with this weird looking mold. Eggs in a ring. Here we go again. I just love. Oh, lovely. That looks so good. Creamy dried beef mold. Here we go with the molds. I'm gonna have to do this. Oh my gosh. Creamed beef. I think I'm gonna hurl. Fish fingers and pineapple. What's for dinner? Fish fingers and pineapple, honey. I hope you're hungry. It literally looks like fish sticks and the side like pineapple rings with like looks like ketchup inside of the pineapple rings. No lie. Bean and mushroom salad, and it's in a mold. Oh my! I want to make these. I'm literally gonna do this. Tomato aspic. That's what it was. Okay, there's aspic, which is like a tomato base with gelatin in a mold. And then kipper fluffs. They're like these little square, they're square. Okay, bird's eye buttered kipper fillets. Oh, it's a fish. 4 slices of bread, 1 to 2 ounces of butter, 4 eggs and parsley. You're literally, you stick that, and you fry it up.
I don't want to clip a fob. I don't want to clip a fob.
Okay.
I don't want to clip a fob.
Gosh. Ooh, curried stuffed apples. Oh my gosh, it's got a piece of shrimp on top. Oh, it's like an apple and it's hollowed out. So it's just the base of the apple, and then they look like they took the apple, cut it up, curried it, stuck it back in the apple, and then they stuck a piece of a shrimp, a cooked shrimp on top of that. Like the shrimp part, that's because it's the 70s. I can see this being some artsy thing that they're going to serve in some restaurant, but that's just like, ugh. Let's see. This one's called, oh man, Eggs in a Cage. And I have no way to explain this to you, so I'm not even going to try. This is why I cannot wait to get my video podcast show up and running. That's coming. It's in the future. I see it. I see what's happening. Okay, so have you ever noticed how if somebody doesn't know something and you ask them a question, but they don't know the answer? You say, you ask the question, they're like, I'm not 100% sure. And then they'll kind of tell you like, well, it's this or that, or like, I'm not 100% sure. Why don't you just say you don't know? You're not 100% sure? You mean you're 0% sure? In fact, you're nowhere near 100% sure? Why do we talk that way? That's like the other way of being like, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, you're not a fan at all. You're like the opposite. You actually hate that thing, like, do you like soccer? I'm not the biggest fan. What you're basically saying is you don't like it, but you can't say it. Like, who is, that's just such a silly saying, but like, hey, do you know if you guys have any crunchy or creamy peanut butter? Oh, I'm not 100% sure. In fact, I don't know at all. Do you know if there's any, do you have any peanut butter without any peanuts in it? I'm not 100% sure. Is it possible that I could get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with no peanut butter? And then today I was thinking, what if you went to the cashier and they're like, that's $38.50, and you're like, can I give you $20 cash and put the rest on my debit? Sure. And then you like, click, 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 cash back $20, and she has to open the register and give you $20 back. But you just be like, yeah, I'd just like to keep it circulating. Yeah, I wanted this $20 bill more. And if when she looks at you like, what are you doing? You're like, what? You just be like, what? You act like you don't even know what she's talking about. She's like, you just gave me this 20 and now you want it back. That's, whatever they say. And you just be like, I needed $20. Like, getting cash back is weird to you? Like, I just wanted cash back. I just wanted cash back. And be like that. Oh, it's the little things. Okay, so I guess I'm done with this episode. Yeah. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Okay, like, bye.
I don't want to clip a Fluff. I don't want to clip a Fluff. I don't want to clip a Fluff.